Hey guys, Rory from ANSgear. We have the Hydra glue up here. So this is a glue and a cleaner or thinner. So if you've got that glue residue on the inside of your goggle frame and you need to get it off, Hydra got both for you, the glue and the cleaner going on right there. So I have glue and the cleaner right here. I got a ProFlex with my foam that's kind of flopping around on there. So I'm gonna pull this foam off. I got new foam right here. We're gonna re-foam this baby real quick. So when you're working with the goggle, we wanna make sure that we break the goggle down to its most basic form so that when we're doing the removal of the foam and the install of the foam, we're not dealing with lenses or ears or any of that other stuff that's on the goggle. So try to break it down as far as you can. So for this one, we're gonna take this off. We're gonna get this out of the way. We're gonna remove everything else off of here. So we're gonna get our goggle strap. If you've never removed a JT goggle strap, you kind of just pull on them to get them off of there where they go into the frame itself. Don't be afraid. You're not gonna ruin it. You're not gonna break it. We've got that off. We're not gonna pull it out of the ear itself because the ear, we're gonna just pull it off of there. So we don't need to pull the strap out of the ear. We are gonna take this bottom though. So we're gonna take these new JT rivets out. We're going to just set these to the side. Then we're going to take the upper rivets out as well. That one. All right. And the upper. Allen. Might need to grab myself a screwdriver. I forgot. Let's see if I can just get this without it though. Yeah, I can. That one didn't need it. And then it can go there and see if the other one needs it or not. Nope. Get that out too. All right, so we've got ears off, strap off. We're going to separate these two. If you've never done this before either, you just grab the bottom, grab the top, pull. The bottom's going to come right off, right there. Don't worry about these tabs breaking off. I don't think I've ever seen a ProFlex version break off like that. Then we've got our frame with just our lens in it, and we want to get that off as well. So I start with the top and grab kind of underneath this area, bend it back. That exposes our lens right there. And then from that point, kind of just grabbing and pulling. Pull, pull, squeeze the middle. It's going to get that to come off. And then your lens is off to the side. All right. So here we are. So you can see this one's already kind of flopping around right here. So we're going to have to just pull this off. And it's coming off pretty easy. Not a lot of residue on there. Certain places we got some foam right there. Pull that off. And we got that off of there. I'm going to show you our other foam. Right there. I think we grabbed the wrong foam. This one says Empire on it. Give me a second. Let me get the right foam. All right. So we went and grabbed the right foam this time. And the other one was Empire foam, but it's slightly shaped different than this one. This one is JT. You got the wider edges to it right there. So that's going to match up nicely right there. And even says JT along there. All right, so now what we have to do is we got to clean this frame. Any kind of residue that is left on the frame, we want to try to rub off and get off of there. Any of this foam that was on there, we want to try to peel this off. You can use some paper towel, you can use a cloth. Some of it you can just get off by wiping. If we just go over it, the glue itself, the glue residue will come off of there. But it will kind of stick to it. And the more contamination or goo we have on there, the worse that glue is going to stick to it right there. So let's get our thinner right here. And as you can see, it has like a little brush on the end of it. We're going to take some of this thinner. We're going to wipe it on here. Kind of work in some sections at a time. Get it on there. We're going to just do this kind of the side of the upper right now. Get that on there. And then go ahead and wipe that off. That rest down in the water, and then off any lumps that you're on. Off. Piece of fly that might have from here. Right out here. This is far as right here. Oh, there. Oh, it's not leak. It's just soft. Oh. Come on. Alright. Almost done. Just there. Okay. And then alright. Clean up our workspace here. Alright, looking way better. Got everything cleaned up on there. I'm gonna put a little bit right there. Okay. So now our foam's going to go in here. Kind of like this. It's going to go around. It's going to come to the edge right here. It's going to drop down to here. And the foam, as you can see on this particular goggle, this section right here is much thicker than this section right here. So the way that JT does it is the bottom of their foam right here, this bottom section, is flush with the inside bottom of the goggle frame. So it's going to sit like this, and then it sticks up above on the top. It's not kind of like half and half in the middle, it's above like that. It's going to go around and then drop down. So the tricky thing about doing goggles like this is how you put the glue on. So you can try to do it in sections and then work through it like that. Because remember, when you take this and you're trying to put this on here, all these other pieces are going to be touching things around in here. So you just have to be careful about how you're putting the foam on so that it lines up as best possible while you're doing it. Now this is a contact cement that we're going to be using, the Hydra glue right here. So you have to put it on the two pieces. You're going to, after you've cleaned this, you're going to put the glue on here, and you're going to put the glue on here, and then you're going to let it sit. They want to sit for about 15 minutes or so that the glue can tack up, and then you'll come back and you'll put those two pieces together and they'll stick. All right. So it's not like glue, stick it together, done. It's glue, let it sit, and then come back and put it together. So let's go ahead and start gluing up right here. I'm going to close up my cleaner thinner. And then I'm going to start putting some glue on here. And remember, we talked about it being flush with the bottom there. So there's no reason to glue like way up here along the top. I'm going to glue along the bottom section because that glue at the top isn't going to do you any good. It's not doing anything for you. So this stuff is goopy and gross. That's the way it should be. We're kind of doing our best to kind of just smooth it out. Get back over there. And then you're going to get it in places I'm sure you don't want it to be, but that's okay. As long as it's where we need it to be, right? Come on now. Woo! and expect to get it all over the place. Maybe I gotta stir this around a little bit. There we go. Had to get down into the depths of the goo. Right. Sticking to my fingers. It's not going to be pretty, that's for sure. Oh, it's got me. Alright, we're almost done with the frame here. Get a little more on this side, and then get some up along the bridge. Woo! It's like boogers. Oh man, I'm causing a mess here. Use some of this that I've gotten all over this thing here. Remember, we're not looking for pretty, we're looking for practical. Oh, I just peeled off everything I was trying to do. Oh. Kind of got to whip it out of there. All right, we want that coverage to be pretty full on there. All right, I think we got it. Oh God, let go. Let's go over to the frame now. We'll move you up out of here. We'll move over to here. We want it on both pieces, so frame and foam. Definitely easier on the frame because the frame is harder. kind of using more of the stick of this thing rather than the brush. The brush really didn't help me out so much. All right, there's that. Come on, you. There we go. I think the key to this is just to be patient. We'll get there eventually. Get this down in there. There we go. Big old gloop. Sure, you're in a well ventilated area too. Luckily, this room's got a lot of air conditioning in it, but this contact cement is very, very potent. So just be careful. Make sure you've got some ventilation going on. All right, I think we're covered all the way around. I'm gonna put this lid back on. We're gonna set this aside for 15 minutes, or probably 10, because it's taking me that long. And then we're gonna stick it together. So we'll be right back. All right, so we've got our frame glued up. We have our foam glued up. We've let it sit the recommended amount of time, and then we're gonna go ahead and put these two pieces together. And do our best to line everything up the way we need to line it up right here. So we're gonna I'm gonna bend this around, get this here. I'm gonna put my finger under so it's kind of giving me a guide as to where this is gonna go. We're gonna go right about there. I'm gonna kind of roll this around to the outside. Like that, and then I'm going to roll this one around to the outside, trying to keep it level with the bottom right there, which is good. So I got that. I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to try to start with the nose here. Boy, that really grabs when it grabs though. That nose in there. I'm going to come around. Put that on there. And then come around here. Put that on there. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to push in all the places right there where I've attached it. Making sure that I've got a nice, good seal along there, and then along there. And then we're going to let it set. And I mean, obviously if you have a form that you can set it against and let it dry and cure the most, would be great. I mean, you can, they say on the bottle that you can go out and play right away once it's on there. But 24 hours is going to give you the best adhesion after it's done, right there. So I'm going to rebuild my goggle real quick. And then I'm going to put it on Manny right here. We'll put it on his face, and that way it'll kind of form to the shape of a face. So first thing, I'm going to get this lens back in. If you're putting a lens into a ProFlex, always, always, always start with the nose. If you leave that till the last or some other time, it's going to be a nightmare to get it together. So start with the bridge of the nose when you're putting your lenses in on ProFlex, always. Not the ProFlex X, just the standard ProFlex. Or any of the other ones along that line, like the Spectra and stuff. Alright, so that's in. Take our bottom. Snap our bottoms together, make sure that our chin straps are out of the way. Right there. We're going to take our ears. I recommend doing the ear first, and then you can go back and do the strap. On the upper section, on the top of the ear, the flat part of the rivet goes underneath, and then the screw part goes in the top right there. There. There we go. Flat part on the inside. Together. So with our colored rivets on the bottom. Line that up. Right there. All right. All right, there we go for that. Now I do need a flathead screwdriver. Luckily, I've got a toolbox right behind me. It's handy to have that right there. So for our ear, I'm going to take our end of our strap, line it right up over our slot, and then using a flathead screwdriver, we're going to push it through like that. Again, I'll try to do this one so you can see it there. Push it through, and then pull it to make sure it seats inside there. All right. I'm just pushing it on there, making sure everything lines up to a nose and an eyebrow. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna let that sit, let that just form sitting on there. like I said, 24 hours is the best bet when getting that to stick on there. But when those two glues, when they touch each other, that is some sticky, sticky stuff right there. So be real careful as you're putting that foam back on that you're able to keep parts separated, because if you start pulling, you're just going to rip it apart again. So does take a little bit of finesse, takes a little bit of time to get it done, but the results, I think, are pretty nice. Brand new, here we go, Hydra glue for your goggles, your foam, but also it works for a bunch of different stuff, for rubber, EVA, polyurethane, thermoplastic, PVC, vinyl, and leather. Getting glue for that and the cleaner all in one package right there. Get your brand new Hydra glue at ANSgear.com.